All right, folks. Hi. Welcome back. We're making our Breakout slash Brick Breaker, whatever you want to call it, game. I got my really, basic version that you probably have now too. Hopefully, you've built, simple structure with the ball and the paddle, all that kind of stuff. If you haven't, go do that now. But if you're at this point, you're ready to move on, then let's move on. So we promised about we're gonna make an array, a book of values to store all the coordinates, and so let's go do that right now. I am right now in my main tab here. I got my color scheme. I got my mode framework. I have some, paddle and ball variables and some key press stuff. So that's all good. And in my setup here, I'm, loading all these things. That's great. So now I'm going to add in an additional component where I'm going to set up the array of bricks. Set up array of bricks. So we're going to make an array, and we have to do that as a global variable because we want that accessible all over the place in this project. So I'm going to go back up to the top. So let's make brick variable. I guess brick variables. All the bricks are going to share this. So first of all, we're going to make some arrays for the coordinates. So I'm going to make an int array. Now, this is how you make a variable, right? Int x, int y. How do you make an array of x's, a book of x's, a book of y's? Well, you just put in these square brackets here, these things. I realize that we now have, so many different parentheses and braces and brackets. The technical term for these is brackets. And so you read this as int array. And that's basically making a book of ints. Even kind of looks like a book a little bit with the square, almost like a book opening. So I do like that very much. This is the syntax in pure Java and C and all sorts of languages as well. So that's great. Now, arrays are a little more complicated than a variable. If this was a variable, like this, you're done. You're good. You don't have to say anymore. But we do need to give some more information to an array. We have to say, how long the book is. We have to predefine the length of the book, or how many elements are inside of our array if you want to use more technical language. So let's go do that. I'll show you what it looks like. So if we're making our array x, we have to say equals new int array, and then inside of here we're going to put the length. So I'll just make an array of maybe 3 long. I think that'll be fine. And y equals new int 3. Pardon. Okay, so what does these 2 lines of code do? So these 2 lines of code, what they do is they make a empty book with just zeros in it on each page. And there's going to be 3 pages altogether. That number says there's 3. So this is sort of 2 steps. This is technically called the instantiation step. So I'll put that here. Instantiation just means make. But, if you want to learn the technical terms, that's it. And of course, back up here, like any variable, this is the declaration. We've been declaring variables for a long time. Here's declaring our array. So if I ever ask you about the declaration of an array versus the instantiation of the array, that's the difference. In declaration, we're just naming it, choosing what kind of data goes on each page. In the instantiation step, we're choosing how many pages it's going to have. And once we've done the instantiation step, now we can go and use these things and create them. So I'm going to make some bricks, and we're not going to quite jump into the while loop just yet, because I feel like we need to kind of get used to this array structure first and understand how to move through the book to jump from one page to the next. In the next video, we'll take a look at making a while loop, flip the pages for us automatically. But let's just look and see how we would make an array work. So let's go back over to our code. So where is this gonna, where are we gonna specify the locations of the bricks? So we'll just set that up in setup, and I'm just gonna choose numbers. So how do I put a number into our bricks? Well, we're going to use the page number. So watch this. I'm going to type in the name of the array, and then I'm going to put the square brackets, and I'll put the page number. So if I say x0, it's like saying in the book called X on page 0, I want to do something with that. So for example, I can assign it a number. And this, if I do y0 and x0, that's going to represent one brick. Like that's the x coordinates of brick 0. This is the y coordinates of brick 0. So I'm going to say that first brick is at 100, 100. And then you can specify another brick. I can say x1. That's the, I flip the page to the next page. How wide is this? 800 by 800. So this will be 400. Will be in the middle now. So I'll say 400. And the y coordinates, we'll keep them all in the same row. So I'll keep the y coordinate the same. So that's going to be 100 again. And then the last brick, x sub 2. The x coordinate on page 2, if you will, 700 and 100. And you could probably cut and paste to go forward, but that's fine. So this is an example of how we are using how we are kind of assigning values to our arrays. So all that information is now contained inside of the array, so we can go use it. I'm going to just kind of do a primitive example just to show you how the array works. So in game, I'm going to flip over to void game now, because that's where the bricks are going to show up. I can now stick in some code for us to draw the bricks. And so we have a bunch of places here: paddle, ball. Fantastic. I'll put a section for bricks. Put a line across here to separate it. I'm not sure how long that line should be, but good enough. Okay, so now I can just simply say, like, I can draw a circle, and I can say it's going to be at x0, y0, and I can give it a size. I probably should make that a variable. I'll just say 100 for now. I can do the same thing for our other bricks. I just have to change the page number here. So I can say x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so now if I run this, I should see 3 bricks that are located in the game. And sure enough, there they are, 1, 2, 3. So in terms of advantages over just making a bunch of variables, you probably already see the advantages that when we declare our variables, we just have to declare one book, as opposed to if we were using x1, x2, a bunch of like separate int variables without using the array. We'd have to declare a whole bunch of arrays for each, a whole bunch of variables for each brick. For an array, we just declare one, and then we can use it. It's still a little janky though, because I'm still kind of manually typing in all these numbers, so it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it is a start, and we'll see at a more advanced way to do it in a bit. And yeah, I mean, when we go to use it, it's pretty straightforward. It looks pretty good. So I guess just let me take a look at something here. Yeah, I think that's a great place to stop this video. So in the next video, we're gonna get more out of our array. It's a little bit janky at the moment. It doesn't look like it's a lot better, but wow, in the next video, you're gonna really see the power of it now that you understand the basic syntax of how to interact with it. Okay, I'm really excited to see where you guys go. Ask lots of questions as you're doing this. If it doesn't make sense, I think we'll keep talking about it. Okay, good luck, everybody.